Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by softlayer.com. We love Softlayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at softlayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show.
All right, back with Richie, mate. Let's talk about your songwriting is what I'd love to talk about because, I mean, there will be, whether you like it or not, obviously comparisons drawn to our mate Keith.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And there is a tonality and all that sort of stuff. There is a bit of a look that goes with that as well. But, I mean, your experiences are obviously far different to anyone else's. So let's talk about you and your songwriting and the experiences that you draw on to jot all that stuff down.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've been dabbled with songwriting for as long as I've been playing guitar and singing, you know, which is a long time. But I come over here to Nashville. I've never really co-written much with anybody before. Like the first two records, I just wrote them all on my own, you know, in a bedroom, you know. But come over here, it's definitely a different way of doing things, co-writing. But most of my stuff I draw on is from the musical influences, I should say, which is pretty vast. You know, I don't just listen to Willie Nelson or Waylon Jennings. I listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan and AC/DC and, you know, all sorts of stuff. So I have a little bit of a rock edge, I guess you would say. So
I mean, I would definitely say you have a rock edge, and I think that comes from just, I mean,
it's Australia, man. It's
well,
pub rock, you know.
It is pub rock, but I think that's what you have brought to Nashville, and essentially, you know, you have cut your teeth in a lot of these bars and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, still when you are out and about, I know you play a lot of casinos and the likes, you do get downtown here in Nashville and play. And so I think that when we have artists who have done that on this show, their songwriting almost, you can tell because it leans towards a more rowdy crowd. And you can't sit around playing sad love songs all day long.
No, you can't.
On Broadway. So
exactly.
Tell me about that. Like, do you go, when you write songs and you think, I'm going to have to play this live to this rowdy crowd, I kind of need to keep it pumped up for 2 hours? Or?
For me, I'm kind of like that anyway. I mean, I had to try and, the record I did with Mike Flanders, we had all these songs and then he said, man, we're going to need a ballad on this thing, you know. I think, I'm going to have to, okay, I'm going to write a ballad, you know, because everything I write is kind of more rocky. But I think I've changed a little bit, though, in more recent times. I've sort of written quite a few songs on the last record, especially, that are kind of a little more laid back. But, definitely I do lean more towards the pumped up kind of.
And is that because of being a guitar player?
I think a lot of it probably is, And, you know, guitar influences are, apart from the country players, my influences are Stevie Ray and, you know, Malcolm Young, you know, that, you know, rock and stuff, you know. But,
and you do play, I mean, as I say, we share the same producer, and I've been in the studio when you've recorded, and you do play all your own guitars and stuff like that, which other people may not know at home. I mean, Nashville is soaked with musicians, and so often there'll be someone who comes into town and says, I'm going to play all the guitars, and then they actually see someone play guitar and think, actually, I'm
it's
not
very
going
much
to.
a contractor-based, like, this guy does this job, this guy does that.
100%.
You know,
yeah, but I think because you were able to hold your own against a lot of those guys, definitely your sound on that record brings that live element, you know, to it.
To me, it's part of my sound, you know. It's my songs, it's my vocal and my guitar playing, and harmonica playing too, you know, which is kind of, I try to do as much of what I do as I can, because it makes it your own, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have your own identity with it, whatever you do. So.
And so let's talk about your identity. Obviously, you've done incredibly well. I mean, I've known you for a little while, and you've rebranded yourself a couple of times.
I think maybe a lot of it's trying to find my place more than anything. Like I came to Nashville, and it's like you do the whole Nashville thing. You have that look, and I think, well, that's what I got to do. But recently, I've just decided I'm going to do, you know, what I do, because in the end of the day, if you've got to be true to yourself, you know, do what you do and be the way you want, sing the way you want, and that's just being truthful, you know. So I think that's what I'm striving for.
Yeah, I think the great thing about, as I know we want to touch on it, especially with Talkapolis, we do a lot of this with social media and stuff like that. It's so important to artists. Yeah. And with rebranding yourself, it gives you the opportunity to spread your wings a little further, I think, as well.
For sure.
What sort of things do you think that, you know, through your social media, what's the plans moving forward with that sort of stuff?
I think I'm just, at my point in my career, I'm just trying to build as big a fan base as I can, so that if I can go and play somewhere and have some people come and see the show, because at the end of the day, no matter what level of the industry you're at, I think the most important thing is people wanting to listen to your music, you know, or coming to see you play. And the more people you can get to do that, the better, because that's what everybody's career is based around. So if I could get as many people to, you know, like my Facebook page and come to shows, that's all I'm aiming for. I want to be doing this till I can't walk anymore, you know. So look at Willie Nelson, man. He's still doing it. How old is he now? I don't know.
It must be the medication that keeps him going.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of that.
It's true. You have got a lot of new stuff going on, and that is what we'll talk about when we come back.
Cool.
1, 2, 3. I know it ain't been an easy ride, but we've come too far to stop now and turn it around. Like pouring rain on a glass windshield, you can't quite see the road that you're traveling down. Every little piece, every little crease in your life's like a bypass road. And baby, I tried and I realized that it's harder when you're on your own. 'Cause every little breakdown on some old road, every time we've been lost, wonder which way to go. I never would have made it through if it wasn't for you. And God knows where I might be without you here with me in the passenger seat. Well, it's a long, hard road that ain't always straight, with a few sharp turns to put your heart in your mouth. And though I tried sometimes, I can think of another that I want right here. Things start heading south. Every little turn, there's a lesson learned, why I need you here by my side. And seeing it today, I just gotta say that I'm glad you came along for the ride. 'Cause every little breakdown on some older road, every time we've been lost, wonder which way to go. I never would have made it through if it wasn't for you. And God knows where I might be without you here with me in the passenger seat. Well, you can burn a lot of miles when you travel at light and make good time on your own. Well, when you get to where you're going and you wake up alone, do you wonder, are you really